Good evening, Keto and Wrestling family. MATTROISE here with another live stream tonight of Dark Side of the Ring. Abdullah the Butcher live. Now please allow me to be your eyes and ears for this broadcast. I'll have the audio playing in the background and give you my reactions as the show goes on. Of course, in between the commercial breaks, leave your questions and comments in the chat, and I will get to them during the commercial break. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Dark Side of the Ring, where it will get quite dark. How's everyone doing tonight? What's up, Z? Michael Maroney. What's going on? Here we go. Hey, Maroney, thank you for that generous donation.
Abdullah the Butcher was like a nightmare come to life. He terrified people. Just a savage, bloody, thirsty machine. Trying to rip the eyeball. When Abdullah walks in the ring, you know you're going to get blood. Every match he was in, he bled. You bled. Oh my God, right on the head. One of the most infamous wrestlers of all time, Abdullah the Butcher, left a legacy of violence and bloodshed wherever he went, from Puerto Rico to Japan and across North America. Think of a heel that was bigger than Abdullah. You can't. He made money everywhere he went. But the more money we made, the more danger we had to face. Even though Abdullah was playing a character, inside that was him.
He would have people with slingshots hitting him and throwing things at him because they think he's hurting the damn guy.
Fans at ringside, when he got too close, I mean, they were running.
Everybody's bloodthirsty. Everybody is bloodthirsty. They want it.
Notorious for blurring the line between reality and fiction, Abdullah remained a mystery even to those closest to him.
See, you all know the wrestler. You don't know the person. He's a hero all the time. He's a very good person.
In a gruesome but successful career spanning 7 decades, Abdullah's thirst for blood made him infamous, but also led to his downfall.
He cost me my WWE career. That was a fact. The Hep C caused me not to have my WWE contract.
Wow.
You're a piece of shit, and I hope that when you die a really slow and painful death.
Wow, that's Hannibal. That's Hannibal. What's up, Robert? What's up, Rorito?
Abdullah the Butcher would come into a regional wrestling territory and just set business on fire. The difference between Abdullah and everyone else is when anyone else came into the territory, fans were rooting for their favorite to win. When Abdullah came in, they were rooting for their favorite to survive. Hello, I'm Mick Foley, sometimes known as the Hardcore Legend, and I have been involved with professional wrestling since 1985. I knew of the legend of Abdullah because in those days, you learned about people outside of your geographic area largely by the magazines. And the magazines painted this amazing portrait of this unstoppable monster. I was so intrigued by Abdullah the Butcher that the first thing I did when I got to college as a freshman is I put a black and white photo of him on the wall and began to tell the entire dormitory that he was my father. When you have those taekwondo karate pants and you see him with a fork with all those gigantic cuts and he opens those big eyes and you see him on promos eating liver and the blood of the liver coming out. That's Abdullah the Butcher, and he was unstoppable. My name is Hugo
eating
Zaminovich. I'm from Guayaquil, Ecuador, and
raw
I've been
liver.
in this passionate industry for close to 50 years, and I will do it again. Love lucha libre. No one was safe. Not the referee, not the owner of the company. He will put fear into your body, into your brain, your soul.
What's happening in there? Can you explain to everybody what you're watching?
Yeah, eating the raw meat, chicken, and he could even take a phone book and tear it in half.
Well, that's a trick.
My name's Josephine Heron, Shreve. Abdullah the Butcher is my brother. Winter at that time when I was growing up, I always say that's old school. And it was like we was raised in a 2-bedroom house, wartime house. There was 8 of us. 2 or 3 of us slept in a bed together. I had my own room because I slept in the bathtub. I had a cushion to put in there. My father and I had to go to the bathroom. They piss in a can. My mother had to come in the washroom. She knocked on the door and I get out of the tub and let her in. Because I don't think my mother wanted to piss in a can. Okay, that's the way it was. My name is Ralph Shreves. I am Larry Paul Shreves' brother as Abdullah the Butcher. I call him Larry. That's his name to me. Abdullah the Butcher is his money name, his wrestling name. If you ever interview him, you just look at his damn head. If you ever interview him, well, here you go then. I guess he tells the truth, but I'll tell you one thing. There, I think you should be better off talking to him a longer distance. Yo, FDE! You have your ass jump up in 1 minute. And you scared to death. He's a good actor.
Oh yeah, we just gotta.
I got my head off. Let me take my head off.
Looking good. There he is. There he is. Oh, it really is you.
My name is Larry Shreve. My other wrestling name is Abdullah the Butcher. I'm from Khartoum, Sudan, but now, since I'm putting her out, I'm from Khartoum, Sudan, Windsor, Ontario.
Your parents had to take care of a lot of kids. Like, was it
Well,
challenging?
they worked hard. My mother worked hard. My dad worked hard. When I see my mother on the floor, scrubbing floors, at the funeral home, I said to myself, holy shit. My mother works hard, but I never knew that she was on her hands and knees until I went there. I didn't want to learn how to read or write because I was only worried about my mother and father. I wanted to make money. I used to buy candy, 3 for a penny, go to school, and want to buy some candy, right? I'd sell it for maybe a penny a piece or whatever. Where the kids owed me money, and I said, when are you gonna pay me my money? So maybe he got scared, like I was gonna do something, right? So he wouldn't go to school. Maybe his mother came and says, my kid is scared to come to school. And that was it. Then I said, I gotta get out of here and try to make some, money where I don't have a problem. And that's what I done.
So Larry only finished the 2nd grade?
He only finished the grade 2nd. I was a year smarter than him, and I'm not really that smart myself. But I'm saying we done a lot. Larry, he went to people's houses knocking on their door and asking for old clothes and all that. And he had a second-hand store with all kinds of old clothes. And he had a store. He shines shoes for years. Then he got a janitorial service, business. He had people cutting grass and all that. He had a truck where he went around moving stuff out of people's basements and all that. He was a worker. Let's just say he was always a hustler. He'd been in the karate and all that. He had a karate place where, like senior citizens, he trained them to learn how to defend themselves. That's right in winter. You had about 8 or 9 old ladies in their 60s or 70s, and he had it where they could defend themselves. Just old people and that.
I was down at the Windsor Arena, and I was doing karate and stuff like that, and the manager of the place, he said, hey, you should be a wrestler. I said, oh, I don't want to do that crap. He said, you can make some money. I said, oh, okay.
Abdullah crosses the river to Detroit, where he meets the original Sheik, one of the innovators of hardcore wrestling.
Wait a minute, the Sheik has got that fire!
For that despicable act of fighting. Abdullah playing an Arabic wrestler, they only had one at that time, and that was, they call him the Sheik, not the Iron Sheik, the Sheik out of Detroit. He used to do all that stuff. You know, cut you with your forehead, walk around crazy. Hi, this is Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer, Tony Atlas. You up watching the Sheik, he imitating the Sheik.
His eyes out of his camel punch or anything of that nature. Wait a minute, that's my spot.
Corner punch. Oh, this is a grudge match. This is wrong.
I told my dad, I said, Dad, I'm wrestling at Kumba Hall. My dad says, those are some dangerous people over there. My dad used to see me with cuts on my head. He told my mother, tell him you better get out of that shit. I said, Dad, listen, smack me. He said, for what? I said, just smack me. I didn't hit you that hard. Then I showed him the blade. He said, now I know you're crazy.
Having learned this bloody trick of the trade, Abdullah travels the world showcasing his hardcore style. While working in Puerto Rico, he meets promoter Carlos Colon and his right-hand man, Hugo Savinovich.
I started working with Carlos, and they say, you're good, but you're not big enough. He says, I want to make you a manager. And then he said, by the way, we're bringing into Puerto Rico one monster, Abdullah the Butcher. And I have heard of him, and I said, wow. I mean, what a way to begin a managing career. Managing him, it was, you know, just a crazy, crazy way of earning a living.
Everybody just gone crazy here.
By 1983, he was already drawing gigantic money in the Caribbean islands and Puerto Rico. People will fill up the stadium. Abdullah will make the promoter, Carlos Colon, look good. But at the same time, he will destroy him.
Have the fear of being involved in this match.
Abdullah will wrestle in Puerto Rico for a couple of months. He wrestled in Japan for a couple of months. And then he will come back to the States. And he was a big draw. I mean, wherever he went, he drew money. Abdullah was worth every penny that he got paid, and trust me, he was making huge money. He lived really like a rich guy. Abdullah was very cautious of his money. When he got paid, as soon as you give it to him, he count it.
I made sure my mother and father, my brothers and sisters, got some of it. My mother used to work for the funeral home and stuff like that. I went there one day and I said, come on, Ma. She said, what? She said, I want you to meet Mrs. Law. I said, I don't want to meet them. You understand? You're here scrubbing floors and stuff like that. I'm supposed to be Abdullah the Butcher and you're on your hands and knees scrubbing floors and stuff. From that day, she never worked another day in her life. And I made sure of that.
That's great.
But I was dumb. I didn't have the schooling. Like I tell you, if I know what I know now, everybody shafts me. You understand?
Despite his successful and profitable rise to fame, Abdullah today finds himself in legal trouble and financial ruin.
What has the whole situation been like for you personally?
Hell. You don't know who the hell's working with you or working against you. You understand? I'm in bad shape. Real bad shape.
It's in bad shape. I mean, let's see what he has to say. All right, here we go. Hello, Mr. Aguilar. Z says, do you think Gunther will be the longest champion? I think he will be. Thanks again for that generous donation, Michael Maroney, and you give the belt back to Z, the $1 Million Championship. Thank you. What's up, Robert Avoidstein? How you doing, brother? Mr. Aguilar has a Brock toy. That's awesome. I have a Brock Pop myself. And Maroney, yes, those points will go for SummerSlam. I will tally them up for you. Maroney's going to get some big dough. Awesome, bro. Mr. Aguilar says, do I think WrestleMania 20 was the worst match I've ever seen? Between Goldberg and Brock? One of the worst, yes. It was a big letdown, too, because I remember watching it live. It was at Madison Square Garden. Z, who do I think will win the 24 Royal Rumble? I think it's too early to tell right now. It's way too early to tell now. So, if I had to go with anyone, it would either be LA Knight. I'd say LA Knight, and on the women's side, it would be Natalya. Roy says, thoughts on Abdullah? Honestly, I always thought he was a bit of a fake person, you know, especially from the first season with his commentary on the Bruiser Brody episode. So I'm here to have him prove me wrong here tonight. So far, I'm liking his story. Garrett remembers Hannibal and the matches against Abdullah. Burrito, thoughts on Roberto winning the Grand Slam? I think that was amazing. And keep up the good work. My day was great, Rory. How about you? Abdullah doesn't really remind me of anyone, I'd say. Z asks, who would you trade to AEW to WWE? Honestly, I don't think I would do any trades except for Wardlow to WWE, and MJF, and also Jade Cargill to WWE. Fondest memories of Bleezy when we went to SeaWorld. Who are your top 2 hardcore wrestlers of all time? I have to say Terry Funk and Sabu. What kind of pizza can you eat on keto? So you can eat cauliflower crust pizza, meat crust pizza.
The name of the almighty Abdullah the Butcher.
More questions after this, guys.
Larry Shreve, yeah, it can be really difficult for a fan to know where the character ends, where the real person begins.
He has raised terror in the
Someone who rode with him for hundreds of hours, you get to know the real guy, or what he wants to show you of the real guy.
Abdullah the Butcher moves swiftly for a big man.
See, he always talk about he's an entertainer. He's entertaining you. But the real true person, you all don't know. My name is Jocelyn Malika Marjo. I met Abdullah while I was on the streets feeding the homeless. He told me his name was Joe, and I was just so excited to see somebody else out there like myself feeding the homeless. So I didn't know he had a restaurant. Gave me the address of the restaurant, and I brought my son over there. I said, do you know who that is? He said, that's Abdullah the Butcher. And I said, who is that? Because I'm not into wrestling. Abdullah was his hero.
Your son liked all the bad guys.
He loved the bad guys, yes.
Abdullah was the best heel that the world ever saw. Even picture in my head now, just the way he stands, the way he moved around the ring, and the things he did. To see a whole crowd of people move back, he could walk through an aisle and people would run from him. And when you come through that ring, people go, uh-oh, here come Abdullah. If it got so, it wasn't a gimmick.
He was in character most of the time, especially when we went public. I remember seeing a flight attendant go over to him, and as soon as Abdullah saw that flight attendant, his eyes bugged out, his mouth started watering, and she tried to like get his beverage order and just walked away. I was like, Abby, are you okay? He goes, gotta protect the character, champ. Gotta protect the character. And that's what he would do. And so he, in his own way, he would create this grassroots campaign for the authenticity of his character.
When he went into the ring with any wrestler, he made them a good wrestler.
Yeah, if you fight Abdullah, you fought Abdullah, you got over. People knew you the next day.
They got like a crown on their head because they're wrestling one of the best.
That's why I say Abdullah made Carlos Colon. Abdullah made Tony Mr. USA athlete. Everybody that fought Abdullah became a big star.
Unity battle continues between Abdullah and Kevin Nash. Here he is with the big karate thrust to the head of the Dirty Dutchman tail.
What really made Abdullah was the time in Japan. In Japan, during that time, wrestling was still about 7% real. You got a karate kick in Japan, it was a real karate kick. You got chopped in Japan, it was a real chop. The only thing that was fake in Japan was who won and who lost. It was on the cover of all these magazines. They have billboards of Abdullah, pictures of Abdullah.
He was what I call crazy over. Like he was an iconic part of Japanese culture.
No, that's fine. It doesn't bother me at all.
As crazy as this might sound, he recorded an album in Japan. In the dressing room. My name is Abdullah the Butcher. I want to do all these crazy things to you. My whole family hates me because I'm too vicious.
They never seen nothing like me. I was different. They only seen the wrestling. You know? That was it. I was different.
Having found success with the hardcore style he adapted from the Sheik, Abdullah becomes a mentor to wrestler Devin Nicholson. But this long-term friendship will end in disaster.
Oh.
I actually ended his career. Retired him in the ring, retired him out of the ring.
Hannibal.
My name is Devin Nicholson, and my wrestling name was Hannibal.
No class, no idea how to dress.
Starting his career with Stampede Wrestling in 2001, Devin begins working under the name Madman Hannibal and soon launches his own indie promotion, Great North Wrestling. In 2006, he begins working with Abdullah.
Before all the negative stuff happened, I actually considered him somewhat of a mentor, and like I would say he was the first wrestler to like take me under his wing a bit and teach me about how to get heat and stuff. We ended up tag teaming and wrestling each other numerous times.
I knew I used to work for him.
Right, like you guys were friends, weren't you?
Yeah, I used to fly into Toronto or whatever, and we had shows. He'd come out to Calgary, Alberta, we'd have shows. You understand?
Abdullah, you think I'm not ready for you? I'm gonna get you. You're
last match in Canada. There will be some people that will always hate me for exposing him, but whatever. I don't care. I stopped him from wrestling.
I would like to see what else this story has to unfold here. Now, I mean, I remember that. I think Hannibal had to go back in the back because he was too busted open. I think I remember that. ATF Media, I cannot confirm that, but you never know. Z, what toppings do I like on my pizza? Pepperoni. You saw chocolate keto, Mr. Aguilar. Yeah, I mean, you can find keto products out in the market today. Rory says, thoughts on the Gonzalez family and being the first Grand Slam Triple Crown family ever. It's unprecedented, Rory. I mean, that's amazing. No family's been able to do that except for yours. And you guys have definitely made history. Peppa, what's up? Maroni asks, how many points would $310 get you? That's a very good question. That will get you an unprecedented 46,200 points. You may win the next pay-per-view, Maroni. 24/7 belt to Maroni, SmackDown to Moxley, Trillion. All right, well, Roy, these titles will be we will be doing this on SmackDown. We can't do it now. But yeah, just remember that comment for SmackDown. Mr. Aguilar says, you think Drew McIntyre deserves to beat Roman in WrestleMania and become the new champion? Hey, you never know. Do you know you were at a lot of Abdullah's legendary matches in Puerto Rico when you were a kid? That's awesome, Roy. Yeah, I mean, the guy's a hardcore legend for sure. Okay, Brody. Yeah, we'll do that on SmackDown. The titles, so changing the titles. Yeah. They are pushing Dom Z. Yep. Don't worry. We'll change the titles on SmackDown. Thoughts on Abdullah's matches in Puerto Rico? I think they were quite hardcore. Yes, Puerto Rico, I believe, was the capital of hardcore before ECW. I think ECW used a lot of their material. What's up, Danny? Do I prefer the US or Intercontinental? I prefer Intercontinental. What are top 5 wrestling tag teams not named LOD, Dudleys, or Steiners? The Hart Foundation.
Let's wrestle Hannibal, and what's being billed as his retirement match.
I remember my first
The Rockers.
Abdullah. My grandmother was actually somewhat of a wrestling fan, and I remember she let me rent a wrestling movie called I Like to Hurt People. And I just remember
The Hardys.
how did they make this blood effect? You didn't really know how they did blood in those days. I'll probably have to edit this.
Rock and Sock Connection.
Bret Hart would put it in his mouth, he said, but I was always afraid to do that. So then you would take the blade and put it like there, tape over top, and then when it comes time to bleed, you pull it out, and then, I'm not going to do it, I'm not Abdullah, but you'd slice down like that.
No. For me to hit myself, I'd hit myself like this. See it?
I was around Abdullah a lot, and you never actually see him do the deed. The blood would arrive as if, by magic.
Abdullah had razor blades on all his fingers. First he cuts with the razor blade.
And what does he got? He got a fork.
And then he would take the fork and scrape it across it, make it bigger so it could bleed more. And he afterwards stick that fork, he was sticking with that fork too. He started stabbing you in the head with that fork, hurt like hell.
That's Abdullah! Abdullah the butcher!
And he would cut you deep.
Well, did anybody ever complain about being cut?
Not to Abdullah. Because, you see, in the older days, the guys would tell you this, suck it up. If you don't like it, you're in the wrong business, kid. Suck it up. There was no bitching or complaining in wrestling. I didn't carry a blade because I didn't juice every night. But this was part of these guys' gimmicks.
Abdullah the butcher! It's Abdullah!
Abdullah, Bruiser Brody, Dusty Roll. Abdullah's blade every night. Every night. It's kind of like Ric Flair gotta have the roll. Well, Abdullah gotta have the blade.
Brothers of Destruction too.
Why do they call him Abdullah the Butcher? What does a butcher do? They take to make blood. They try to hurt you, to torture you. This guy here, he would rush to the hospital, had 4 stitches in the back of the head. This guy chopped him in the damn head and got cut. Don't think that this is all phony blood.
Abdullah's intense bloodlust and unpredictable style keeps him from signing with the world's largest promotion, Vince McMahon's WWE.
Vince kind of knew that Abdullah was going to be very hard to be controlled. And I think that if you would even ask Abdullah, I don't think he even trusted himself. Because I don't think a lot of times he planned things. We were going to have a tag team match in Ottawa, and before the match, we were appearing on a local television show called Rogers Daytime.
I just happen to have a fork right here. Huh? With the old,
And without this being planned or anything,
Thank you.
he put the male host in a headlock, walked the male host over to where there was going to be a cooking segment after. And then the guy started bleeding.
Settle! Back off! I just find it. You know what?
It was the weirdest moment ever. The guy was like, I just remember him shaking like that. He was like going to shock almost. It was like a guy that obviously isn't used to bleeding or getting in fights or anything.
We'll be right back after this.
I think that was 2009. You couldn't even really get away with it then. It was a miracle if you did.
I never seen that before.
You
Wow.
could see like how in the old days you could get away with stuff like that. But I think in 2022 it would be hard to assault a TV show host and get away with it. I think he was in his late 60s by then too. So it certainly helped.
After years on the independent circuit and mentorship from Abdullah, Hannibal finally achieves his own opportunity to wrestle for the WWE.
Wow.
When I was signed by WWE, he actually screamed with joy. Because I guess since he never actually wrestled for them, and it was kind of like someone that kind of represented him in a way was going to get in there.
But after a series of routine blood tests, Hannibal receives career-shattering news.
In my blood test, they found that the Hepatitis C virus was present.
Oh.
And I was like, well, first of all, I was confused on like how I would have such a thing. A lot of guys would use dirty razor blades because everybody didn't carry blades. Everybody didn't carry blades. Until we say something like
Abdullah.
You
Hepatitis.
got a blade I could use? Then he gonna use the blade, and then when you boil something, you got to do what? Give it back, and they would give it back to Abdullah. So it was very easy for somebody to catch a disease because who knows where that blade came from or who they cut before they cut Hannibal.
Did it cross your mind at that point that it might have been Abdullah?
Yes, because there was no other way that I would have thought that I would have caught it, but I wasn't
Like at this point, I didn't think
He has hepatitis C too.
I would have the evidence or anything.
At some point, you and this guy Hannibal were friendly with each other, right?
Yeah, we're good friends. I used to work for him. He was a promoter.
Right.
So, I don't know what happened, but I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about it.
He doesn't want to talk about it because he fucked up. And that's one of the rarest moments you'll ever see me curse. Because that's how mad I am about what I just saw and what I just heard. He messed up this man's life. Because he used dirty blades. And then he doesn't want to talk about it because it's true. See, he wants to beat around the bush. Do you believe this? One of the... Yeah, I like the Winged Eagle belt more than the original IC belt. Rory. Yeah, well, you know, you guys should work that out. Absolutely, Rory. I mean, I have no idea what's going on between you guys, but definitely, I feel like you guys should bury the hatchet. What foreign object will you use to hit your opponent if you were to heal? That's a good question. I used to like a baseball bat. I made a mistake. I want my $1 million belt. You do, Maroney? You sure? Okay. Rory says, top 7 masters of the mic, in your opinion. The Rock, Stone Cold, John Cena, Shawn Michaels, and those are the only 4 I could come up with right now. Ric Flair, and if the other 2 come up, I will say who they were. If the WWE show would be in Australia, would I go? No, I wouldn't go to Australia. What can you eat from TGIF Fridays while on keto? A salad with grilled chicken. What are 4 soft drinks that are not good on keto? That's a good question.
Hannibal was desperate for answers.
I had a guy that was doing a documentary on me. It's called This Is Hannibal. We were hoping that it was going to be my journey to WWE movie, but it ended up just being like a sad movie. Obviously, it didn't work out. The contracts got rescinded because I have hepatitis C. So he was the one that actually saw the cutting incident, and he showed me the clip from the 2007 match. And he's like, what is Abdullah doing here?
I haven't even seen footage of the match, to be honest with you. I would love to see it.
You can see here he's cutting his own head with his razor blade that's taped to his finger, right where all the scars are on his forehead. He's been doing for the past 15 years. And you see him doing that to my forehead. So I'm like, he's blading me.
Oh my God, so 8 years managing him in different countries. I never saw him doing that to another guy. And if that's the case, wow.
Many local news stations saw my movie and did their own stories on it. Because Ottawa, I don't think ever had somebody that had made WWE. Ronald Kaza one of the top lawyers in this area, saw the case, and with his skill as a lawyer, he was able to basically force Abdullah to provide his blood test. According to his blood work, there's a history of Hep C, so you would think that he knew, but whether he knew or not, he should have known it's dangerous to cut someone with a razor blade with blood on it.
The footage of Abdullah cutting Hannibal with a used razor blade and the results of Abdullah's blood test formed the basis of a lawsuit filed by Hannibal. A lawsuit that Abdullah claims he couldn't read or understand.
I was getting a lot of letters, right? What am I gonna do? Open it up? I don't know what the hell it says.
You saying he's illiterate?
No. I'd really be in bad shape.
And he said, sat me down. He said, sit down, Malika. But he told me he didn't know how to read and write, and he cried like a baby. A big, huge man. Like this, crying. I'd never seen a man cry like that. That's when I understood what was going on in his life. And he would ask me to open his mail and read it to him. And after I looked through it, it included the court case with Devon Nicholson. Don't know anything about that.
My sister called me and said, you lost the case in Toronto. I said, what? And it was default. That's what, because I didn't show up. And that was it.
When you aspire to be a professional wrestler, this is how you celebrate a legal victory.
He ended up losing in court in both Ontario and Georgia. And he was found guilty of negligence, assault, and battery. He either knew or should have known that he had Hep C, which Abdullah still denies, even though he provided the blood tests.
Court documents show that Abdullah carries the same rare strain of hepatitis C as Hannibal. In the years that follow, Abdullah makes a range of claims, including the allegation that it was Hannibal who gave the disease to him. After the Canadian judge sees the video evidence, coupled with the confirmation that both men share the same rare strain of Hep C, the courts side with Hannibal.
It's very good to have that on the record after all these years of being called a liar.
Devon Nicholson was awarded $2.3 million in damages.
No, I don't think they should pay it. No, not that much. No.
What should he have gotten?
Nothing.
Really, Tony?
I wouldn't have sued him.
You wouldn't have.
When you get into a certain profession, you're taking a risk. Hannibal could have done it himself. That's what the guys told me. Told him, he don't change his blade. Do it yourself. He let Abdullah cut him. He could have cut himself, but he was scared to cut himself, so he got somebody else doing. And it cost him.
Tony, you're just as bad as Abdullah, my friend. Ah, jeez. These guys are getting worse and worse. Yeah, diet soda, Rory, and anything with sugar, like fruit juices, fruit punch, none of that. Just stick to water. Do I feel Tony Atlas is fake? After watching that, Tony Atlas is just as fake as Abdullah. Did I know Carlos Colon paid Abdullah off not to talk about what happened to Brody? I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. Oh, definitely. Brody's death in Puerto Rico sent shockwaves throughout the industry. Oh, definitely, Garrett. I wish Brody was still alive, too. Oh, definitely. Brody, absolutely, Rory. The Berserker. The Berserker was like Brody, the Berserker in WWF. Top 5 masked wrestlers of all time. Mil Mascaras, Rey Mysterio, Juventud Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero, and I had to choose one more. Sin Cara, because he makes me laugh. If I hit 100K, you have to buy Cody Rhodes underwear from WWE shop. No, I won't be doing that, but I'll definitely have a big celebration. Shivanash, what's going on? 70K, a mini belt. I'm not sure, Rory. You know, I give away prizes every pay-per-view, top 3 trivia scores, so I don't think I'm gonna do a prize giveaway at 70, but I'm gonna do a prize giveaway at 100. 100K. I wouldn't donate to Abdullah. I'll give him a punch in the face. That's what I would do. See, who's the greatest high flyer of all time? That's a good question. I'd have to say Jeff Hardy. Hannibal deserved to beat him in a trial, and it's a shame. He lost his livelihood because of that bum, Abdullah. And he knew what he was doing. Don't let him try to fool you. He's an actor. Has there ever been a screw job on the stream? Not necessarily. I mean, I'm dumbfounded here.
Appearances and autograph signings. Hannibal claims that Abdullah has moved around his assets in order to avoid paying him, and to this day, the matter is still in front of the courts.
Wow.
He's never paid anything. Hasn't paid a penny.
Nah, I don't think he have it.
I want you all to look at this. This is dangerous. This stuff that you haven't seen. Look at this. He has no money to repair none of this. Now this is a light fixture where the water is coming down. This is electrical. Listen.
This is how this house is right now, currently.
Right now, currently.
Let him get electrocuted.
That's why I didn't allow you all to come back there.
Good night, Z. Be safe, be well.
I'm stressed. I've never had blood pressure until I got moved into this house.
You're not getting any sympathy out of me.
But it's worth it when you see someone being taken advantage of.
Taking advantage?
She went to school.
Yeah.
Went to school to learn how to read and write. I studied money.
So he's illiterate?
But I needed more than that.
So he can't write his name?
I got shafted. All the tapes, what I made for many, many years, got nothing.
Whatever he's going through,
Your fault.
that was all his anyways. I don't want to say too much, I just tell it, that's the truth. My brother, don't worry, but my brother he's a very nice person.
Yeah.
But people play games with him.
You're right.
Are you aware that he says that he can't read or write? Did he ever tell you that he can't read or write?
No, and I've seen him order at restaurants, reading menus. I've seen letters from him. I've seen him sign autographs. He's owned several businesses over the years and been involved with large wrestling contracts with companies like WCW and Japanese companies.
So he can't read or write?
No, he never could. But he'd find ways, like, if they told him, like, to go to a chicken farm or something like that, he'd draw a picture of a chicken.
I don't mean this to be humorous, but, like, he knew how to read a menu. You know, like,
yeah.
We would eat down 3 times a day. He never had an issue. I don't know if that's the case. If it is, I think it's just it's an accolade for him to be that successful around the world without that ability. But I don't know. I've only recently heard that.
That's like a shock to me, because you make great business transactions. Even in a check, you have to write it.
Yeah.
I did not know that. And 8 years we travel a lot.
He's bullshitting you guys.
And that is a shock to me. If that is a guy of a second grade education, wow. That whoever was the teacher, we gotta find him or her and honor that person, because
Are you serious? He's bullshitting you guys. This guy's a bullshit artist.
The style of hardcore wrestling has a long legacy, but it often comes at great personal cost for those involved.
Abdullah and Carlos Colon invented a match with a chain going right across the ring, and they were hooked to it. And even with the rain, a storm, you could still see just all the blood coming down. It was horrendous, but for the fans, it was just devastating, the punishment that they inflicted on each other.
We felt invincible, and they trained you to feel invincible.
At those times, we would put the blood of their opponent as part of being a heel and suck the blood out of your opponent's head. When I talk about it right now, I see the expressions on the new generation, like, what the heck were you guys thinking? But you know, back then, it was a whole different world.
Anytime you watch something, even if you watch a movie picture or something like that, they always have violence in it, right? You have like the cops and the robbers, you have this and stuff like that. It's always violence. And if you don't give the people violence, they don't come and see you.
In a twist of fate in 2021, 7 years after his own court battle, Hannibal finds himself at the center of his own controversy by brutalizing a referee.
They were looking for someone to bleed from the spike, so the promoter found this referee that was a known bleeder to take the spike. It hit him several times and he did some damage. The promoter for that show did not have any medics on site. It went on longer than it should have. Like, it was bad communication all around.
Guy, the referee, he ended up getting an infection. His head was, mutilated.
I was appalled. I saw the dude's head with, a dozen different gaffs with staples in his head. I'm just like, what in the heck happened here? Why have charges not been pressed? Why is this guy not in jail? Even your story is saying you were recklessly, dangerously careless and damn near killed this guy because you're just sloppy. And if we believe that he got mad and actually attacked this guy with a spike, it's like, you should be in jail. You should never be booked to wrestle again. This is not good for the business. This isn't 1960 where we're going to convince somebody that he's the madman from the Sudan that attacked somebody with a spike. There's no place for that in the industry anymore.
Oh my God, that even makes no sense. I mean, you just were in that situation, and wow, strange things do happen, because what are the chances that you win a court case and now you're going to do that to a referee? Crazy.
Hannibal's an idiot too. I mean, these guys are just horrible. Roman, I think he really did have cancer. I think he did. Rory, do I like Reigns more as a face or a heel or a unicorn? I think he's doing way better as a heel. What's up, what's up, Mike Harper? Jimmy Snuka's legacy? Absolutely. Because evidence points to the fact that he had something to do with Nancy Argentino's death. No matter how much of a nice guy he was when we met him, I mean, it's apparent. Oh yes, Roy, absolutely. Brody would have definitely been gold for WWE. So your boy Yoda too. Do I feel Abdullah would have had a great career in WWF? I don't know, honestly. Hannibal? Yeah, after that, Hannibal's an idiot. He should be in jail too. Antoine Lewis Jr. Johnny Boots, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, if you watch back this stream, it'll be one of the most rarest occasions you hear me curse. I used the F-bomb tonight because of this show, because of Abdullah the Butcher. To think I would have given him a chance tonight to earn my my respect. Guy's dirt. Guy's lower than dirt. Bam Bam Bigelow's next week. Awesome.
To this day, Abdullah's legal problems haunt him, and the Hepatitis C controversy has tainted the legacy of his legendary career.
I know it was horrendous.
He gave Hannibal Hep C. Boots, he gave Hannibal Hep C, ruined his career.
But then you also wonder, because in my case, I was around him in bloody matches, you know, and Carlos Colon and all the guys. But none of us tested, you know, positive to that.
Hannibal eventually finds an experimental treatment that cures him of his hepatitis C.
Wow.
His bitterness remains.
He got cured.
Is there anything that he can do to make his right?
Yes. I mean, start paying what you can, and take some responsibility for what you did.
So he got Hep C cured.
Guilty in both Canada and the U.S.
Wonder how he got it cured.
Never apologized for anything, and yeah, it's just been a nightmare situation. But I would never expect that from him. So all I can do is move on, which I have been doing. I'll be honest. Talking about this situation, I mean, this is hopefully the last time I'll have to talk about it. It was a terrible period of my life, and I'm over it.
Because the lawsuit is argued in a civil trial, the judge found Abdullah the Butcher liable, but not guilty, of causing Hannibal's hepatitis C.
This is the Hall of Fame, and all these wrestlers here, these are the old ones. They're probably all dead now. They're all in the Hall of Fame with Abdullah the Butcher. Well, I put it this way: all my family is his biggest fan. He done good. And I hate to say this, there's a lot of good wrestlers, and I put it this way: he's one of the best.
Being around our next inductee always made me a little nervous. This is a man who took hardcore to another level. Take a look.
In 2011, Abdullah the Butcher is inducted to the WWE's Hall of Fame.
He was?
When I found out I was going to be in the Hall of Fame, I said, I don't believe it until they book me there, you know. And Terry Funk was the one who put me over strong, you know, said nice things about me, you know. He said, whatever people say about Abdullah the Butcher, he made these promoters a lot of money.
I cried because I know the story that to be what he became, he paid the price, and yes, he made the money, but it wasn't easy being Abdullah the Butcher.
What's missing in wrestling today is the idea that an opponent is fighting for something bigger than a title or a victory. They're fighting for their lives. That's what he brought to the table, and I don't know if anyone ever did it better than Abdullah the Butcher. I've never seen anybody that the fan was actually afraid of. They was afraid of him. And I never seen that. I never saw that with anybody.
I think he should be remembered for his greatness. His greatness because he is the god of wrestling. Not the negative, you know, just one little situation and it's not proven. He didn't get a chance to prove his innocence. I don't care if they take everything he owns. I would never turn my back on a man of greatness. Such greatness. He's gonna be okay with the help of God.
Long after you're gone, what would you like people to think when they hear the name Abdullah the Butcher?
Just to give me the respect for what I done, and a lot of things people say I done, I did not do. You know what I mean? And that's all I can say. Whatever you want to think, I'll leave it up to you.
Abdullah the Butcher. You don't have my respect. You're an asshole. Screw that. Thoughts on Hugo? Hugo was trying to deny everything as well tonight until he was given video footage that he cut himself, Abdullah, and then he cut Hannibal with the same blade. And then he had no other choice but to admit it. So Hugo is just as fake as Tony and everyone else. It's bullshit. Why did I use the F-bomb tonight? Because this person, Abdullah the Butcher, is so full of shit that I had no other choice. I'm legitimately angry. I am. I mean, this is ridiculous. If a person like Abdullah's in the WWE Hall of Fame, then it's not that prestigious. Then you got someone like Abdullah in there. Why do you think WWE inducted him? For publicity, for money. Antoine Lewis, what I ate for dinner tonight, I had some chicken parmesan with mashed palmini, which is mashed hearts of palm. It was delicious. Do I think Hugo Savanovic and Mick Foley were paid off to say good things about Abdullah? Well, they were paid for their show, I'm sure, this show. And even Mick Foley, he was sort of denying things too tonight. But I would expect that from Mick Foley. I would expect that from him. Ronnie, well, yes, send me a message. Absolutely, I'll try to get back to you. Nacho Libre. Now, that was a good movie. Rory, that was a good movie. Yeah, there'll be more themed weeks and streams, absolutely. Rory, yep. I wasn't expecting that too, Danny. Wow. I'm just appalled by this episode. I mean, it was a good episode, don't get me wrong. I learned a lot in this show. However, I just learned more of how much of a bullshit artist Abdullah the Butcher is. What a horrible human being. Horrible. Foley is as fake as they come. Foley is as fake as they come. So I would expect no different out of Foley. You think he's a nice guy? You think Foley's a nice guy? Well, meet him on a bad day. See how nice he is. And trust me, I know everyone's got a bad day. However, when you're at that level of exposure, there's no reason for you to act that way towards fans who have paid money, legitimate money, to see you and watch you do your thing on live television. No way. There's no way for you to treat fans like that. Exactly, Garrett. All wrestlers, they do have bad days. Don't get me wrong. It comes with a level of professionalism. Professionalism. It's about being professional. And you got to find a way to be professional. There's just no... It's not called for. I mean, especially at an autograph signing. At an autograph signing, when you're expected to be cordial and nice to your fans, you should be nice to your fans during then. It's not like we were getting autographs from him when he was eating lunch at McDonald's or something. We went to an autograph signing. And Mick Foley chose to act the way he did at the autograph signing. It was an autograph signing. So you should be there, all your bells and whistles, ready to say hello, take pictures, shake hands. But no, Mick Foley didn't do that. No, he instructed Dave Hebner, God rest his soul, to tell each and every one of us fans waiting patiently in line, no pictures, no handshakes, just give me what you want me to sign and be on your way. Really? You're the same guy that fell off of the 20-foot Hell in a Cell? You're the same guy? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Because you're being a prima donna right now. You are being a prima donna right now. I can't believe I'm meeting my hero right now that fell off of this 20-foot Hell in a Cell, who doesn't want to take pictures because he doesn't like camera flashes. Like, who are you? Right? Are you the hardcore legend? Who the hell are you? Are you a shell of the hardcore legend? Roy, HBK is as fake as they come as well. You got to understand, these guys are actors. They're all actors. All right? They're all actors. Now, I do respect them. I respect their profession. I respect who they are. However, these guys will do what they can to make a buck. And that's what they do. Sorry for my tirade here. But this episode got me going tonight. This episode got me going tonight. The bullshit that was in this episode, the fakeness. Do I feel Eric Bischoff is fake or Russo? Absolutely. You know, Russo has some fakeness to him too. It's what got him to where he had to be. You know, he had to be fake to get to where he was. Bischoff as well. You know, you gotta know how to place yourself in that position. You know what I mean? Like, there's a way to get to that position, those positions where they were. All right, guys. So I'm gonna get going, guys. I've had enough. This episode really got my blood boiling tonight, and I can't keep going on with this. I mean, you guys know the answers to most of the questions you guys are asking already. All right, I'm just keeping it real, telling you guys the truth. You know, and that's basically it. I got to get going. This is it's horrible. That's the best part of the show tonight, the rant, right, Danny? No, I'm gonna be busy tonight, Rory, unfortunately, but maybe another time in the near future. But I will message you about the trophies too. So just keep that in mind too. You know, I think Mick Foley's the bigger ass kisser, if I had to be honest here. But you know, that's on them. Had to take a breather there. This episode got me there, and jeez. Yes, you are, Roy. No, I'm joking. No. All right, guys. So I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. Hope you all be safe and be well. Each and every one of you. Enjoy yourselves this evening, and I'll catch you guys for SmackDown this Friday night. Be safe, be well, everyone, and yeah. Man, this episode really got my blood boiling. Oh, Hannah, definitely Hannah, Rory. I mean, absolutely, Hannah's here to stay. Oh, really, Roy? I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Well, hopefully I see you again soon. Sorry, yeah, Roy. Yeah. Mike Harper. Oh, yes. So, yeah, I will allow you to do that for Maroney on Friday. Steiner Math, absolutely. Maroney, you sent me a question? Do you think you're a good friend? I think you're the tops, Maroney. Absolutely. You're a great friend. Great guy. For your Raw title. Okay, Mike Harper. All right, guys. Well, you have a great night tonight. Be safe, be well, each and every one of you. I'll catch you guys next time on the live stream. It's just terrible. I apologize for cursing on tonight's stream, which is a very rare occasion. I very rarely curse. Like, I could probably count on my hand the amount of times I cursed on a stream, and tonight's probably number 3, if not 2. The second time I ever cursed on a stream, and it's a shame because I actually came into this episode with trying to be impartial, because I already had precognition from Abdullah the Butcher from the Bruiser Brody episode. I already knew he was kind of a fake, like a very fake individual, but I tried to wipe that away with a clean slate and watch this episode. And the bullshit in this episode and the pure fakeness from not only Abdullah, but from all the wrestlers they were interviewing, Tony Atlas, Hugo Zavanovich, Mick Foley, I mean, his sister, his brother, I mean, wow, and the caretaker too, I mean, wow, all in cahoots. What are you trying to protect? Bullshit. All right, guys, have a great night. Be safe, be well. MATTROISE signing out. Good night, everybody.